Snatch game of love. Let's never do this again, Rue. This was a hot mess. Only a few queens were able to rise to the occasion, but overall, I was like, this was not a good challenge for a lot of them. So we open up with Valentina, who came to win, and I can't hate. Mother was just like, Pheromone wasn't good. It was her time to go. Friend or not, it was time to go. But let's talk about how Monet X Change thought that she turned that lip sync. Girl, no you didn't. No you didn't. Valentina and her bedazzled little, that wasn't even a dress. What, that bedazzled scarf that she had on, honey, she spent around that stage. She spent circles around you in them big splits. You could not possibly believe that you should have won that lip sync. Girl, stop. You were mediocre at best. I hate to say it, but Trinity was right. You're wearing a bodysuit and opaque tights. Like, you gotta come better for 10 grand, mama. That can't be what you pull off every time. In the words of Taylor from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, enough! I hope she comes back. She was such a good cast member. She went through hell on that show, though. Good TV. So the queens are discussing what they're going, the characters that they're going to do for the Snatch Game of Love. And Monique Hart and Monet are talking, and Monet is dead serious about doing Whitney Houston. And Monique Hart, you know how Monique is. Monique is like, and then we cut to her in the confessional. We gonna pray. She's hilarious. She is hilarious. I don't know if she will win this show, but you know, she won the show. She's funny. Like, anything she does, you want to go to her shows because you know it's going to be a good time. She gives a great show. She gives great confessionals. I love how she continues to talk in her confessionals to America. One of my faves. And you know what? Gia gonna get on my nerves, right? Just because I love Gia from her season. And I just feel like she's so dark in her shade. And it's not funny anymore like it was when she was on her season of Drag Race. But she gets them together. When her and Trinity were going through it about who was going to be Caitlyn Jenner, and I don't even know why Gia, I'm like, Gia, you didn't prepare. You did not prepare, because she did that impersonation for Latrice. And Latrice was like, so what's your backup? But anyway, Trinity and Gia was going back and forth about who is going to be Caitlyn Jenner. And Gia was like, well, what you want to do is not necessarily what you gon' do. I was like, okay, girl, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? And Trinity was shook. Get them together, Gia. So now let's get into the Snatch Game of Love. This was rough for everybody except for like two people. Monet X Change. We all knew, even before she did it, because Monet X Change is talented, but I've never seen her do a Whitney. And Whitney is very specific. And if you pull from a certain genre of her life, it's kind of tacky. You know what I mean? Because Monet pulled from Crack Whitney, and I'm like, just do shady Whitney. Whitney was shady before she got strung out on crack. Like, she been this way since she was a kid. There was so much that Monet could have pulled from. She could have done her singing, and it was so much she could have pulled from, and she chose crack Bobby Whitney. And it was like, it just wasn't funny. I mean, if it was funny, maybe I could have got with it, but it just wasn't strong, and them prayers ain't help. Naomi Smalls. She studied Wendy Williams. She had everything Wendy Williams, down to the necklace, to that, when she put that crown on and passed. I'm not laughing, but listen, Naomi did it. She came prepared for the Snatch Game of Love, even though I think this was a very hard challenge. Because listen, the Snatch Game is hard on itself, right? You are asking people to be these characters, impersonations of people that we know, or people that will be funny. And they're answering questions, right? But this time, there's like a twist that I don't think helps the talent, because this time they're answering questions, but they're answering questions as like they're on a dating show. So I just felt like there was too many layers being added on to the work of already impersonating somebody famous or that we, or celebrity, you know what I mean? So I just felt like it was too much work, and a lot of people were losing their jokes, or jokes weren't landing, because you can't have a joke for a question if you're trying to win the affection. I just felt like it was too much. It was too much. The Snatch game is similar, right? But it's just one layer. You're playing this person, and you just give what you think the person would answer to that question. Done. Snatch game of love. You're playing this person. You're answering the question to what you think this person would say on a dating show with somebody they are interested in, and then they have to continue to interact with the person until Rue decides to move on. So they're interacting with 3 people on a dating show, impersonating a character, and it's not just a one answer thing. They have to keep on going and doing dialogue and still being able to be funny and improvise that character. I just felt like it was too much work. It was too much work, and you can tell that a lot of them could have been funny, but they were in their head. Who wouldn't be? Especially if you're not a professional in doing something like that. Like, that was just, I felt like nobody should have been eliminated this episode, because it just, I couldn't agree with the challenge. I think it was too much of a challenge. They should have just stuck with the Snatch game. If you don't want to do the regular Snatch game, then make it something else. But this, I just felt like it was an unfair challenge for the queen. Trinity, Caitlyn Jenner, on it. She had everything down, was able to come out with the jokes. I think Trinity, her responses to things weren't funny. I think what was funny was her interaction with the queens. But it just really, really worked, because I felt like a lot of people felt with the questions of the whole dating thing, because it was difficult. But I think when Trinity was like interacting with other queens and just sitting there with that look and that voice and that, so good. You look at her and you crack up laughing. So I knew she was going to win this episode. Like, come on, how could she not, right? Like, that whole look was perfection. And then we get to Valentina. You can't win everything. So Valentina did Eartha Kitt. Everybody thought it was going to be a bad idea, and they were right. That Eartha Kitt, I was like, who is this woman? Because it's not Eartha Kitt. I think what happened with Valentina was that she read Eartha Kitt's autobiography and took things from the autobiography and tried to make it a joke on stage during this game. And I think it was way too much work for her to do. I think she overstudied, and she came with this character. It was just like, she could have done 2 things. Instead of reading an autobiography, look at her interviews. Her interviews are hysterical. Do I want a man? Like, girl, what? That's hilarious. Or just do what everybody else does, and they win with this every time. Eartha Kitt for Boomerang. Boomerang Eartha Kitt is a killer. It slays the house. Always, if you're ever going to impersonate Eartha Kitt and you're nervous and you don't think you got enough material, or you want to do something safe and that you know what will win, Boomerang Eartha Kitt wins every time. She could have been like, Rupaul, I'm not wearing any panties. Like, there could have been so much that Valentina could have done. And I was hoping that she was going to knock it out the park. But when she started with facts about Eartha Kitt that, like, you only know if you've read the autobiography, I was like, oh, this ain't going well for you, girl. This ain't going well for you. Okay, let's get into the troubling ones for me. The fact that they aired Manila's impersonation of Barbra Streisand. Girl, when I saw it, I was like, what? I couldn't get into it. I was just like, I can't believe this passed editing and it passed the studio, but it got put into the show. Traumatized by that. Gia Gunn. Gia Gunn didn't have anything prepared. because that impersonation, first of all, I don't know who the nail lady is. And it just, I don't know, I felt uncomfortable. Gia Gunn and Manila, their characters made me very uncomfortable. Like, I didn't want to laugh at anything. There was nothing really that I found funny. Manila just put on a witch costume and a Lil' Kim wig and was doing Manila. Like, I don't know. It was a no for me. And poor Latrice, I get that Gia was a lot. You still got to be in a competition, baby. You want to win. And whatever Gia is giving you, play off of it. She was doing it to all the queens. She was trying to mess up all the queens. But there were people who were able to like play with it back or, you know, shut it down. But Latrice just kept on getting out of character. And she was more focused on Gia being unsportsmanlike and not focused on her performance in this competition. Now let's get to the runway. Rue's look. No ma'am. Return to sender. It was a no from me again. I have never disliked this many of Rue's looks. I'm telling you, they use their savings account for this show. They ain't use the real checking account. They ain't use the real money for All Stars. I can't believe that these looks Rue is turning out. I'm just disappointed. And can we stop here for a minute to talk about how hot the judges were? I was like, these are some beautiful men. Good job, casting. Good job. Boots the house down. Monet. That was smooth. Monet. I like the look, wasn't wowed by it. And that's been my problem with Monet on her season and this season. Naomi did not like it. I looked at her look and I was like, what in the Maleficent is happening here? Like, nope. Trinity, gorgeous. That outfit deserved a better boot. What she had going on for the challenge of this runway, boots the house down, didn't work, but the outfit, stunning. Brown cow, stunning. Valentina, I like the look. I get what she was going for. I wish it was a vibrant color. Again, outfits look great in the workroom. Probably look great in a showroom where you got the outfit from. On stage, under these lights, under cameras, it just doesn't hit. The whole look blended, which is probably what she wanted to her skin, but it just blended in a way that it just was not a wow factor. And you have to realize when you come on this runway, you gotta wow us. If that outfit was like a neon green, like not even a neon green, like a chartreuse, girl, tens across the board. I know myself. Monique Hart, nope. None of that worked together. Like, what in the Red Riding Hood, brown cow, not stunning was this? It didn't look good. It didn't look good at all. And I wasn't shocked, disappointed. Manila, meh. Gia Gunn, loved everything but the boots. It's a boots runway. Latrice, from the neck up, yes. Everything else, no. Let's talk about this ending. Manila and Trinity are the tops for this episode. And I think it was obvious to everybody from, at least everybody watching, that what Gia gave this episode, it was obvious that if she was in bottom, she was going home. So I knew right away who was going home, especially since she really didn't make any way with Manila. Like, Manila just cries all the time. So when she was crying with her, I was like, Gia, you still going home. You still going home. And I'm glad that she was on the show. I'm glad that she was trans representation. But it's like, girl, you came on the show and what you were talking about when you were crying to Gia and Trinity, you didn't do anything. You didn't do any of that to help your case to stay. Like, she was crying. She's like, I wanted to be trans. I wanted to represent. I think I didn't come back right. And all of this stuff, it's like a little too late. You know what I mean? Like, what you were talking about, what you wanted to do on the show, you didn't do. And you had the opportunity to do it. Nobody was stopping you. You were given a platform and you didn't do any of that. You just came in. It was messy for no reason whatsoever. So none of the queens liked you. So of course, Gia went home. And for me, it wasn't sad. I was disappointed because I felt like she dug her own grave. I don't think that anybody was like gunning for Gia Gunn, but Gia Gunn was gunning for everybody else. And Gia, sweetie, you really think that Manila was going to pick Valentina over you? First of all, Valentina is well liked. You were not. Second, who in the hell wants the Valentina Mafia coming after them? Her fans. Anyway, that's the end of that episode. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments section below. Do you agree with the elimination? Do you agree with the tops? Who had the best boots down the runway? Look, let us know in the comments section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you for the following episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. Coming right up. It's going to be in one of these boxes. Look, Mama is catching up. So by Friday, you got a fresh episode from Miss Nikki Star. Love ya.